Well, holiday greetings from snowy Michigan. I have my mug of hot cocoa here and it's keeping me nice and warm. I have a nice snowman mug. So I thought today we'd get our stories, our holiday stories, up and running again. Today I have a book called Santa is Coming to Michigan. I thought it'd be fun to read about Michigan in the snow. Here we go. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Michigan been good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Michigan had sent him. Mostly? Asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, they've all been especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we'd better get their presents loaded up. See, it's getting to be Christmas. It's December, which is tomorrow. December 1st is tomorrow. And there's Santa looking over his glasses at the huge piles of letters all the children have sent. Are you going to send a letter to Santa this year? Even though the sack of presents was really, really big and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it onto Santa's sleigh. How they managed to fit such a big sack onto one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said one little elf. One of our reindeer is missing. Look at that big sack. And those little elves carrying that big sack. But they did it. They got it on his sleigh. Look it. There it is on his sleigh. There's Santa making sure he got everything on there. But the elf, our reindeer's missing. Wonder what happened. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him, but just then a young reindeer strolled up munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. The youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the little old elf calling. Oh, well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa Nav and tapped in the coordinates for Michigan. This will guide us to Michigan in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch went the reindeer. There they are. They were wondering where that reindeer was. And there's the reindeer. Look, he's crunch, crunch, crunch on that carrot. But carrots are allowed when you eat them. With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have these presents delivered to the Great Lakes State. That's what they call Michigan, the Great Lakes State. Look, there they are, all flying through the sky with the reindeer, leaving the North Pole. Look at that big bag. That's a big bag of presents. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south and across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew in the wintry air over Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying above Lake Superior and on to Michigan. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. Wow, look at them flying through the night. See the moon? Look at that big sleigh. I'd be excited coming to Michigan too. They had just crossed over Lake Huron when suddenly they ran into a blizzard. Snowflakes swirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa Nav in a bossy lady's voice, keep left at the next star. "But ma'am," Santa blustered, "I can't see any stars in all this snow." Soon they were hopelessly lost. Uh-oh. There he is with his Santa nav. See the Santa nav. Do you use that in your car? Your parents use that? I know I use it a lot. Look, and there's the blizzard. I can't see anything. Uh-oh. Wonder if they'll find their way. Then, through the howling blizzard, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong. He looked over the old reindeer and the red nose, but he had his head down. Red nose, I wonder who that could be. Ding dong, ding dong. There was the sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa, but Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with the little box with the buttons on it. With a flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off toward the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. Look, ding dong, ding dong. Uh-oh, wonder who they're hearing. And there he goes. He tugged them, and they're going to follow him around this way towards the sound of the bells. Whoa, cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. What's going on? Then, to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. Well done, young reindeer, he shouted cheerfully. It must be the bells of St. Joseph's Church in Detroit. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the snow clouds. You have arrived, said the Santa nav, unhelpfully. Uh-oh, look at all the presents are spilling out of the bag. Uh-oh, look at Santa. He doesn't know what's going on. Finally, when the snow had died down and the clouds parted, Santa discovered exactly where they were. Stuck right on the very top of the Renaissance Center. Oh my goodness. Everybody pull! The reindeer pulled with all their might until at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the Renaissance Center. Santa steered them safely over the skyscrapers along Atwater Street, above Milliken Park, State Park, and Harbor, and down into Gabriel Richard Park. If you've ever been along the river in Detroit, it's such a pretty place. All those parks are along the river. The Renaissance Center, all the skyscrapers downtown, the Renaissance Center, and there's a bunch of parks along the river. It's really pretty. And Santa got the reindeer off of the Renaissance Center. Look at the guy hanging here. He's hanging off the building. Got him off there and down into the park. Much safer there. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages had been all jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted the presents into order again. All right, said Santa. Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are now. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming. There he is in the park, and he's sorting all of the packages, making sure they're going to go to the right people. And there the reindeer kind of resting. They had a long flight. Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over Michigan, popping in and out of the chimneys as fast as he could go. There were big chimneys in Grand Rapids and small chimneys in Kalamazoo. He squeezed down thin chimneys in Mackinac Island and plummeted down fat chimneys in Traverse City. The youngest reindeer was amazed at how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like the children of Michigan were going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary and quite hungry too. There's Santa going down one of the chimneys all over Michigan. And there's the youngest reindeer. He looks hungry and tired. In house after house, Santa delved into a sack for packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, the good children of Michigan had left out a plate of cookies, a small glass of milk, and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots into his sack. There he is. He's in his sack looking for the right present to give to the right child. And there he is putting them in the stocking and under the tree. And there's the cookies and milk and the carrot for the reindeer. Uh-oh, Santa's eating the cookies and the crumbs fell into his beard. From Grand Haven to Sheboygan, from Ann Arbor to Petoskey, from Marquette to Menominee, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in the UP and the Mitten. I bet those who aren't from Michigan wonder what the UP and the Mitten is. You'll have to look it up. Santa delivered presents to Andrew, Allison, Anna, Arabella, Archie, Ashley. The list went on until he finally reached Zach, Zara, Zeb, Zoe, and Zibble. Look, there he is. There's the Michigan State Capitol. And Michigan is known for a lot of its lighthouses. And there's where the Tigers play at Comerica Park. And there's the Big Mac Bridge that separates the UP and the Mitten. Look that up too. There's some skyscrapers. This one's in Detroit. Oh, there's a Frankenmuth. This little Bavaria of Michigan. That's a fun place to go to, especially this time of year. Finally, Santa delivered the last present on his long Michigan list. Great moons and stars, sighed Santa. It's past midnight and my sack seems heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. Well done, he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa Nav for the North Pole, and soon they were speeding above Lansing, past Saginaw, and over tall lighthouses through the crisp, starry night. Look there's the sack of carrots. And there's the youngest reindeer crunching on that carrot. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Merry Christmas, Michigan. I bet he's going back to the North Pole so he gets all the presents for all the kids in all the other states. That was a fun book. I hope you liked it. Have a good snowy day here in Michigan. Bye. See you tomorrow.